Filth are my politics. Filth is my life. Filth is my life. Take whatever you like.
And, you know, the people have been asking, they've been saying, I hear these sultry voices. When will I get to see the faces? Not that our cover art is our faces. So anyways, here's our intro. Welcome to the Cinefilth Podcast, where co-hosts Genevieve and Mitchell take a well-deserved break from their tumultuous lives as a stay-at-home mom and an insurance agent to tackle a topic no other podcast has dared to discuss. Movies. Spooky movies, classic movies, queer movies, new movies, all the movies your parents warned you about. And, you know, in light of last week's episode for Suspiria, where, you know, I started off with my favorite quote, I have prepared for this episode as well. And only the fans of the movie we're talking about today that have seen the uncut, unrated version will know this quote.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Of course, now I'm like, where did I put that? Oh, no, I put... I should have it
You're
memorized
like, do I
by
know
now.
it? Yeah.
I do. No, I know it because it's my favorite quote of the entire film.
I'm questioning if I know it because I rewatched it for maybe the second time since theaters, and I just popped it on Netflix, and I wonder if that one was unrated or if it was the theatrical cut. Because I think I've only seen it unrated once. That's crazy. Oh well.
It really isn't that different. They're pretty
Right.
They're pretty similar. But
They just
okay,
pop in a couple things.
I'm getting into character. You hear me, you bastard? I'll cut off your nutsack and nail it to my door, like one of those lion door knockers rich folks got. That will be your balls. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No.
So it's the scene right after Jennifer kills the first boy, well, second boy, in the woods, and it's his dad of the boy. It's the voice actor that plays Patrick Star in SpongeBob. So, like, he's saying this line. This is his one line in the movie, and it's this iconic line, but it's also, I'm like, why am I hearing Patrick Star talk about ripping somebody's nutsack off and using it as a door knocker?
That's perfect, and that's such a vibe, because, like, this time around watching it, I just kept thinking of Heathers, and that's such a dead gay son moment.
Yes, exactly. Which I think is a very good example of the humor in this movie, because when I was, you know, watching all of these wonderful press tours, which we'll get into that, you know, they kept referring to it as a comedy, and it really is. There's so many good lines in this movie. But maybe I should introduce the movie. Or maybe you should. You go for it.
Well, anybody listening will know by now, hopefully, that we are discussing Mitchell's favorite movie, 2009's Jennifer's Body, directed by Karen Kusama and written by Diablo Cody, starring Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, Johnny Simmons, and Adam Brody, and more, and Kyle Gallner. Oh my goodness. Just what a cast. What a gorgeous cast.
And why am I Amy Sedaris?
Yes!
Who was grossly underutilized in this movie.
She pops up and I'm like, what are you doing here?
I'm like, Amy Sedaris? But you know, she has like one or two lines, but she really delivers.
Icon.
Our big tough mama bear, or
Oh my god.
Ford tough mama bear. I can't remember what the exact line is.
That's something that
But-
totally went over my head when I was a kid. Like, see,
Of course.
like I don't know who that is, and now I'm like, oh my god.
The Amy Sedaris,
Of
the
it all.
comedic legend. She's so funny.
Well, I'll let you start. Like, you want to tell us? We both saw it in theaters, so do you want to talk about your theatrical experience first?
Yes. This movie has had a resurgence, and I would like to go on record stating that I was one of the OG stans of Jennifer's Body. So yes, it was 2009. I think I would assume I saw it. Yeah, because did movies used to be in the theaters a lot longer than they are now?
Yes, because I remember seeing it late into the fall, whereas it came out in like September. And I didn't know
Yeah.
that because I remembered
Yeah,
it
September
being,
18th.
yeah, because I remember it being kind of dark out and stuff. And I'm like, September? But yeah.
But yes, so I saw it in 2009. My dad, Greggy, icon, the legend, he took me to see this movie, which looking back on it now, I'm like, what a strange movie to watch with my dad as like a 12-year-old. But anyways, yes, we went and saw it in theaters. I want to say I saw it a second time with Alexis as well.
And that's your best friend.
Yes, childhood best friend, one of. And yeah, it was I loved it so much. I still have my copy that I got on DVD when it came out, which I should have brought it over here now that we're visual.
Yeah.
That would have been a helpful reference.
Props.
But
Look at my DVD.
yes, the cover of the DVD sports some of the wonderful marketing and imagery that they used to promote this film. We can get into that. I've got that written down as a topic to discuss today. What about for you? Anything significant?
Yeah,
Or
I
just
went. I wish I still talked to this friend because I want to like compare notes because I remember being like I liked it when I saw it in theaters, but I was also confused, and I don't really know why because like I loved 80s movies, so I loved Heathers, I loved John Hughes movies, I liked all those teenage comedies. And so I think this movie just really confused me because I wasn't into horror at the time. And so it was weird seeing these plot beats that I was really familiar with mixed with something really, like to me at the time, it felt really vulgar because I was just so sheltered. And so I was confused. I'm like, it's really good, but it's really vulgar and it's really gross. But also, it was amazing. But also, I don't know. So I think it just kind of shook me.
well, yeah, because that was a very different Genevieve.
Yeah, I didn't watch any horror movies. I think maybe at that time I had seen The Ring and Signs, and that's about it. And so I was there for the comedy, but the horror I think just kind of took me aback at the time. But I always liked it. Like I never was one of those people like, oh, that's a terrible movie. I'm more like, that was a bizarre movie to me.
It was a bizarre movie. I mean, I think even at the time it was a bizarre movie.
Right.
I don't think there was anything out quite like it. I think we were, at least during the press conferences and whatnot, it seemed like it was a very bro-y time in horror when this came out, which led to its wonderful reception.
Yeah, people did not. Well, critics didn't like it, and people didn't go see it, so that didn't help. I need to look up a year really quick, because the way I think of Jennifer's Body now, with, hindsight, is that it was kind of like the end of an era, because it came out around the same time as the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which also has Kyle Gallner, and I just need to figure out what year that came out. So that came out the next year. So the way I think of it is, you've had all of these horror remakes that are super bro-y and like green and blue, and all the girls are in their little white tank tops and getting slaughtered and all of that. And then you have Paranormal Activity in 2007, which is a total shift. And then you have Jennifer's Body, which no one is ready for. And then you have Nightmare on Elm Street being like, okay, we are done with this version of remaking the genre. And I feel like Jennifer's Body was the future, and it was foretelling it, but we just weren't ready. I mean, I'm not going to take the blame for that because I didn't know what was going on with anything, but I will blame the adults at the time, though. I will say y'all weren't ready for that.
Yeah, which is wild because my relationship with it, I loved it when I saw it as a kid. I didn't really understand why I loved it. Well, I don't know. I loved anything that was just the gay in me since day one. It's anything female centered I'm interested in. I gravitate towards, and this movie is very female centered, which is what makes it so magical. And then also I think adding to it now, the context of it makes me love it even more. Of what it kind of the journey of this movie and what it went through is something I really love and appreciate. And well, I love and I find it fascinating. I don't love that the things that happened to Megan Diablo, the creative team that put so much love and work into this movie, how they were treated. I don't love, but I do find it absolutely fascinating, and I'm glad that it's finally getting its flowers.
This just made me think of it. Snakes on a Plane, like this was coming out around the same era as the most bro-y horror movie to ever bro. So that came out in 2006. So 3 years later, Jennifer's Body. And so that was kind of the aughts of it all, the 2000s of it all. It was coming out at that same time, and people were not ready for it. But at the same time, it's bizarre. It's bizarre because Fall Out Boy, huge. Panic at the Disco, huge. We were embracing all of these sensitive emo boys, and then when they're the villains, and we're contextualizing it from a badass villainous woman's point of view. Well, I guess it's from Needy's point of view, but anyway, we're contextualizing it through teenage girls and that whole scene through the experience of teenage girls, which is not great. And so it's kind of wild to think that people saw just a different but still accurate perspective on where the world was in the 2000s and rejected it.
And I was thinking about it. I don't think we ever really do synopsises on the movies we do. So I wrote one that's very quick.
Okay, go
so for
ahead.
those of you who have not seen Jennifer's Body, first of all, where have you been? What's wrong with you? Just kidding. It's never too late. Please join. I'm always happy to host a showing. Jennifer's Body is about two gal pals that attend a concert at a local dive bar when all hell breaks loose. The band, Low Shoulder, rescues Jennifer from the white trash pig roast. That's a quote from the movie. I'm not saying that myself. Only to end up taking her to the woods to sacrifice her to the devil so they can become rich and famous. The problem with this sacrifice is they were supposed to sacrifice a virgin to the devil, and lo and behold, Jennifer is not a virgin, not even a backdoor virgin. So by offering a sacrifice that is not a virgin, a succubus demon begins to reside in Jennifer's body. The demon needs human flesh to survive, leading to the demise of many a high school boy. The film ends with Needy killing Jennifer, spoiler, and murdering the entire Low Shoulder band after escaping the mental institution she was put in for killing Jennifer. But through this wacky ride of a synopsis, it really is like centering around this relationship between the two girls, between Jennifer and Needy. That is the heart of the movie, to me at least.
Yeah. No, you're so right. And we see like in flashbacks that they've been friends since they were very, very young. And I've heard different interpretations of this. Some people think it's just a female friendship. But, I mean, it's a love story, isn't it? Like an unrequited love story, at least from Needy's point of view, I think.
I think anybody that sees this movie and just considers this to be
Gal
just a simple friendship
Yeah.
is they're really missing the point.
Yeah, right?
But also it's just like, girl, go
Like
touch grass.
Yeah, you don't kiss your friends like that. I'm sorry. If you're kissing your friends like that, I have news for you.
And putting up with all of the things that they put up with, and by they I mean Needy, putting up with all the things that Jennifer puts her through.
Right, because she's not a good friend.
No, she never was.
No.
And that's something I love about this movie is like, of course I was a child, so I can't say, I don't remember ever seeing a movie before this that explored the complicated relationship between two women.
Your frame of reference is like Free Willy. It's like, this is nothing like Free Willy.
This didn't happen in The Strangers. Right. And that's also another piece of why this is one of my favorite movies. Mm-hmm. It is my favorite movie, is the queerness of their relationship and how complicated it is. It's a lot to take in. It's surface level. This movie doesn't, to the normal viewer and the people that were invited to the test screenings, this is just a sexy slasher film, maybe. But to the girls, gays, and theys, we're popping in and we see you.
Right. The nuance, the power.
Yes. Absolutely. Before we get into the queerness of it all, it might be worth getting into the ebbs and flows, the roller coaster ride of this movie coming out, what it went through.
Yeah. Because literally they started shooting it when Diablo Cody had just won an Oscar. So they're all thinking we are making an Oscar-worthy effort. Kind of dreams dashed. I was reading an article just about the hit song Through the Trees by Low Shoulder, the In the Movie band, led by Adam Brody. And in the article, they were talking about, like, we thought maybe we would get an Oscar nom for the song. And it's like, how sad is that? Not
That
even close.
is.
Not even close. And it's a great song.
It's a great soundtrack.
It's a great soundtrack. Yeah.
Perfect time capsule.
But I remember seeing like the commercials of Megan Fox swimming naked in a lake and the famous and infamous line, "I go both ways." And that's all I remembered seeing about it.
Coming off of Juno, yeah, there was this huge pressure for. I feel like anything that Diablo would have put out after Juno's Body was inevitably going to be.
Juno's Body.
Did I say Juno's Body? Sorry. Sorry. Anything that came after Juno was going to be hyper criticized because of how successful it was. But I love the fact that she had the balls to just go with what she wanted to do. She says in interviews that she wanted to make a horror film, so she made her horror film. And she stuck to her guns with that and didn't really. It'd be interesting to know how the conversations that were happening behind closed doors while the movie was being created. They had to have known, like,
we're walking a line for sure.
yeah, and it's such a shift from Juno. So it's, how are people going to see this? But so that being said, the studio,
yeah,
the studio had their own plan for how this was going to go, which bit them in the ass, rightfully so, because they absolutely fucked it up. The marketing for this film, it was gross what they did. And even during press conferences, Megan was making fun of the way the studio was handling it.
Yeah, they were trying to just, I don't know, capitalize on her fame and her audience, which was, horny men. And obviously.
And lesbians.
And lesbians. Obviously, it wasn't just horny men. But, that was the audience that they were trying to get to go to this teenage horror comedy that's very feminine in spirit and very critical of men. And it's like, I don't think they liked that.
No. And it's so interesting looking at both how Megan and Diablo were both, they were just like what they both went through and how they were both very different situations, in that Megan was the bombshell sex symbol at the time in movies, and she was fed up with the way in which she was sick of what was being offered to her, and she wanted something with more substance, and this was the perfect outlet of that, a release, so to say. And then Diablo's coming off of Juno, and
which
she
was incredibly twee and hipster and cutesy.
Yep. But again, it's like they both were pretty big within their respective roles within the film industry, were massive at the time. And they both, this did not go well for them at the time.
No, it kind of breaks my heart because I remember this was always a point in pretty much all the interviews she did. Like, everyone would point out the Marilyn Monroe tattoo that, I don't know if she still has it. Does Megan Fox still have her Marilyn? I don't know. Well, she had a Marilyn Monroe tattoo. And watching all the special features and stuff about Jennifer's Body and her talking about the sacrifice scene and how it was like very tapping into something very real for her, I was like, oh my God, is she our Marilyn Monroe? Like, was she telling us this whole time with the role that she chose and the tattoo she got? And she's like, look, I'm not just a sex symbol. Like, everyone now is saying, whoa, Marilyn Monroe had so much going on upstairs and so much talent, and she was just used and pooped on,
Yeah. And I think Jennifer's Body is such a clear example of how wrong that is, of her being like, this is a very clear depiction that she's a great comedic actor. I mean, there's just, you can see so much in here that is so great. And it's fucking lame that this is still, they were just like, oh, we're not going to really capitalize on, this great performance you're doing. We're just going to capitalize on the fact that you're hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And it's just, it was so real for the time. And I kind of want to touch on the emo band of it all.
You know more about that than I would.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't like going to shows or anything at that age, really. But like, as I've grown up, I have known, I'm not gonna name names because I know who they are and I hate them. But there's a lot of men in bands who saw their fans as, their dating pool. And so for them to show that on screen was so real, and how, right away you can tell they've got the hots for Jennifer, and they're gonna use her in one way or another. And I was reading interviews with Diablo Cody, and she was talking about how she was kind of a band girl when she was growing up. Like, she would hang out with boys in bands. But for her, it was very openly macho. Like, it wasn't, once you get to like emo and scene and all of that, you have all these pretty boys with the eyeliner seeming like they're really in touch with their feelings, and then they are just as misogynistic as the hair bands before them. And it's just like it's like a costume. And in some ways Jennifer's kind of similar in that a lot of, how much of her is who she is and how much of it is an act, because once she's in crisis, you see such vulnerability in that just heartbreaking scene. And I don't know. That's kind of being a teenager in general, is you've got your armor, in one way or another. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Anyway, I just thought the portrayal of emo bands not being shit was very real.
Yeah, sorry. My brain is like, not being shit, but they are shit. But but you're saying
they're
you're
not hot
shit.
shit. They're not.
You're not shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. No, absolutely. And yeah, it's gross, and we still see it today, and I think we always will. Anytime we're dealing with the male superiority complex, and
because they always think they can get away with anything, and and that's probably one of my favorite things about this movie is the end credits roll and Needy goes and gets them, and that's just such a good feeling, because I don't think women didn't get their vengeance for years and years and years and years from how women were treated in the media in the aughts, and so it was so satisfying to see on screen, no, we're gonna get ours,
Yep.
Well, speaking of Needy, the Amanda Seyfried of it all, or Seyfried, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, she's really, it seems like at the time when I'm watching these press conferences, it's all about Megan. And then it's kind of Amanda's just there. Meanwhile, she was in Mamma Mia, which Mamma Mia was big.
With a completely different audience, I think. That was like...
I know, but it's just, yeah, which is also so cool that she did something so much, like just a complete 180 of what she was doing. All these people are doing 180s, and it's just so cool. But she's so great in this movie.
She's fantastic, and we all know that she's absolutely beautiful in real life, and they managed to make her look like a nerdy girl that you would not pay attention to compared to Jennifer, which it just blows my mind now that we know, like, no, Amanda Seyfried is like the hottest human alive, and
yeah,
and they managed. I don't know how they did that.
I could never imagine this movie with two other people, which I don't know if anybody ever could. Which I'm so happy to see Amanda, like, where her career is going. I feel like she's finally starting to really get
good roles.
Well, that, and I'm also glad to see her hopping back into maybe we can call it. Do we call it The Housemaid a horror film?
I mean, it's a thriller.
We both had a lot of fun with that one, she's so great in it.
He carried The Housemaid. Is it Housemaid or Housemaid? No, it's Housemaid. Okay, she carried The Housemaid on her back. Like, without her, I don't know, man. Everyone was so stiff, and then she gets in there and just rips into it. And I'm like, you're amazing. And she walks the walk when it comes to working with women directors, which I love. I wrote down some examples from the very beginning, like Jennifer's Body, woman director, Red Riding Hood, I think that was Catherine Hardwicke, so woman director, and just this last year, Testament of Anne Lee. So I'm cheering for Amanda all the way. And yeah, let's get Megan her Oscar trajectory, please. If she wants it.
And that's one of the things that's so sad about this movie is I feel like it really was. I don't want to say it was the nail on the coffin because she has done stuff since then, but I think it really stinted a lot for her, which I don't blame her. It's like, how long can you put up with this shit before you go, I'm stepping away from this? And she seems like she's in a much better place than she probably would have been at that point when this was coming out.
She's done some like B horror movies, I know. There was like the AI movie where she's a
A robot or
A
something.
robot, yeah. She did another one where it's almost like a one-person horror movie where she was supposed to die, but she doesn't, and so, or something like that. But anyway, she's alone like the entire movie.
I'd love to see her in more stuff because I think there's a lot that we haven't got to see yet from her.
I want her in all the comedies.
Yeah, her delivery in this movie is just, it's so perfect. And even not just, I mean, not even just comedic wise. If you look at, you brought up the sacrifice scene, she absolutely nails it. And any of the scenes that were, and then the scene which right before prom where she's wiping the makeup on her face, which part of me genuinely wonders if the substance took inspiration from that because those scenes are so parallel and similar to each other. Just from different ends of the spectrum, which is really interesting too. Like you have Jennifer, who's this young woman dealing with the same things that Demi Moore is going through in The Substance, just different time periods in a woman's life.
I remember like reblogging gifs of that so many times, like in black and white, like her smearing the foundation on her face. Like that was like peak pastel goth Tumblr era.
Yes, with the picture of herself just beaming next to it, which
Yes.
I love. Anybody that has their own, like their phone wallpaper as a picture of themselves, part of me wants to laugh at them. Part of me also is like, I respect the hell out of you because I wish I loved myself to that extent. Be like,
I am goals.
I am gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Well, the movie I was gonna bring up was Till Death. So that's one that Megan Fox like carries that one on her back, but nobody saw it because it was like a B horror movie, a B thriller. So check out Till Death with Megan Fox. It's on Netflix with Jennifer's Body. You mentioned Diablo Cody really wanting this to be her horror film. And I don't know if this was in the script or if these were choices that were made on set when they were filming it, but there were definitely some nods to like Evil Dead and Halloween with some of the camera work. And there were more obvious parts, like when Megan's wearing Needy's Evil Dead shirt, and she's like, "Are you wearing my Evil Dead shirt?" You know, which of course is another woman who gets possessed by a frickin' rapist, technically, with the tree. You know. But even before that, when the movie opens, it's that POV shot that's kind of turning like the Evil Dead shot. What I was thinking of, because I was trying to like decipher it, because that's what I do. And I was like, is this an Evil Dead shot or is this a Halloween shot? Because it also like goes up to the house and goes to the window like young Michael Myers does at the beginning of Halloween.
Isn't that also kind of a Texas Chainsaw too?
Yes, like with the tire swing. I was like, oh, this
going under the bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It made me think of that approaching the house kind of from under. And so, yeah, it like referenced like 3 movies in the first 10 seconds. And I was like, this is crazy. And then there's another part where Jennifer jumps out of Needy's window and Needy rushes and looks down and Jennifer's gone. And that is straight out of Halloween. That's the end of the first Halloween is, you know, Dr. Loomis shoots Michael 6 times and then they go and he's gone, you know?
Yeah. Well, which during those press conferences, I know there's lots of through lines with this movie, and I know Karen was talking about how they were really inspired by Suspiria. Well, David Argento and the Technicolor.
Not David.
Did I say no? Dario, motherfucker! Every goddamn time.
David.
I am sorry to this man. Dario Argento. I'll never know his name.
That's okay.
But
He just announced he's like producing 3 more films, and I'm like, with what time? With what time left?
pop off diva.
Yeah, do it up. But wow. Anyway.
But yes, they mentioned, they may have mentioned Dario Argento and the Technicolor of it all, which once they started mentioning, I'm like, this movie is very colorful, which I appreciate because a lot of movies are just sucking the color right out of everything.
Brown, yellow, black, gray.
Is it sepia? What's that filter?
Tone. Yeah.
Yes. They were. I know they referenced that. I'm trying to think of what other ones. Carrie, I know they brought up.
Yeah, I so see that.
Mm-hmm. Which interesting. The last episode we were talking about Suspiria, and then now we're talking about this, and Argento's here, and then also interesting. we were inspired to do Suspiria because of the conversation that stemmed from me seeing Florence and the Machine, and Florence and the Machine is on the soundtrack to this movie.
Oh my gosh, I remember fangirling so hard in the theater because that was right around the time like the singles for Lungs were coming out, and so that you hit me once. I was like, I lost my mind. I was 16.
So
and I
thrilled.
was so in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This soundtrack is such the perfect mix of like people who have stood the test of time, like Florence, like Panic, stuff like that. And then it has like these people who were supposed to be a big deal, you know, who put out like one album, like Lissy Truly is in the credits scene. And I remember her songs were everywhere. Like Nylon Magazine was giving away her music and stuff like that. And she was supposed to be a big deal. I don't think she ever made another album that I know of. And so it's such a time capsule of what would end up blowing up and being worldwide phenomenons and what could have been, which I think is that's just Jennifer's Body in a nutshell.
A lot of people shit on Through the Trees. I think that song smacks.
It does. Like, I know that they were
It's supposed to be cheesy.
Yeah, because they were inspired by really lame bands like Coldplay and U2 and stuff like that. And like, I hear that. But also, Adam Brody's really hot. So watching him sing it, even though it's not his voice, I'm just like...
I didn't know that.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think it was Ryan Levine did the singing voice. And yeah, I don't know who that is, but I know who Adam Brody is, and he's right in front of me singing it, air quotes. And yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. I wish it was on streaming because I need to go like buy on the iTunes store. I need to go buy the soundtrack because I want it all.
Which I recently procured. Is that the word? Procured?
Procured, yes.
Procured.
Procured.
Via marketplaces online. I was actually able to I got the Jennifer's Body physical CD, which they sell for quite a bit now because they're hard to find. But I got one that's in great shape, and I burned that shit right onto my computer.
Well,
now I got the full thing.
Put it in a Google Drive folder. Send it my way.
Is that illegal? Should we be promoting those practices?
No, I've never done anything illegal in my life.
Well, when I get done sending you over the Melania rip that I have, I'll also send you the Jennifer's Body soundtrack as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I love the soundtrack. I rock out to New Perspective like every day of my life. Yeah, it's great.
You know, we're talking about, I mentioned a few moments ago about how it's having its resurgence, which I didn't get into yet, but when we were in LA last fall, I did get the opportunity to go see I don't remember I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It was
I forgive you. I'm happy for you.
I mean, in my defense, I didn't think we were going until I did some hardcore investigative work. I was in the comments section on the Academy's Instagram seeing if somebody was selling their tickets, and I happened to find 3 that were available, which I was so lucky because I want to say, wasn't that week they were doing women? I can't remember I'll look it up. Yes, there was a theme that week because the same day I saw Bride of Frankenstein for the first time, which was also really cool.
I think it was just like Halloween themed. Like it was mostly just horror. Maybe it was women in horror, but that day they were doing a lot of women in horror stuff.
I'm almost positive it is, but I'll look it up. I'll edit this out.
But yeah, I was very happy for you and very sad for me because months before I had told you, like, hey, they're screening Jennifer's Body, we should go. And then we get to LA, and within 2 days, my husband's back gave out, so I could not go anymore. And I was like, God damn it. But I did get to see Begonia on the big screen, which is a very, that's one of my favorite theatrical experiences because I'm 90% sure it was, not technically an industry screening, but I think there were a lot of people who worked on things who were there, so they were very interactive, and it was very fun. So I did have fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really, really, really loved that movie. Not to, completely derail into a completely separate movie, but
another
yes.
movie that should have done better in theaters. It did do well critically, but I think it should have done better commercially.
Part of me is wondering, why did Poor Things do so much better than Begonia did?
Yeah.
Maybe because visually it was different. It was Willem Dafoe, wasn't it?
I almost wonder if it was just, it's the hype train. The hype train was going, and then it got to Begonia and people retired, and they were focusing on other things, It's the attention economy, baby.
Yeah, it's on Saturday. It's part of its monstrous feminine Halloween themed program.
I love that. That's fantastic.
So, anyways, yes, part of their or monstrous feminine Halloween themed programming. So that same day, I saw Bride of Frankenstein. That was really cool. And then the same evening, I went to they did a Q&A, and Karen was there, Megan was there, and it was I don't want to mispronounce her name.
Tanana Reeve Dew was the moderator.
Yes, and it was. I wanted it to go on for so much longer. It was maybe like 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, they're all so smart.
Correct. And Megan was where she, and I love the fact, and this shows how much she loves this. Her outfit was incredible, but it was on theme for what they were. It wasn't like she just rolled up as just to get the paycheck and get in now, but like she went all out in how she appeared, and I'll have to like insert a photo here.
Yeah, it was like a nude corseted dress with like bead
With
work
blood
that looked
dripping.
like blood driplets. Yes,
It was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
But that was a really, really cool experience, especially getting to see Jennifer's body on. I don't know the logistics of that site or of that theater, but I know it's a Dolby theater, and the sound was great. Visually, it was such a nice theater, and getting to be in the room with a bunch of people that love and appreciate the movie versus maybe in 2009 when I'm sitting next to my dad who's wondering what the fuck is this. But yeah, so that's part of my lore with this film, that experience, which I think it's very important.
It kind of revitalized your love in a way, like
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. It was always there. It's just like so many years had passed and I hadn't really revisited it, and then getting into it, I started looking more into the movie, and then because when I was younger, I never saw this much as a queer film, which that was going to be my next topic I wanted to talk about, is the queerness of this movie, because I could talk about that for days. But part of me wonders if that's what was always there for me. I remember even seeing it as a 12-year-old. Part of the huge thing about this movie is the make-out scene with Jennifer and Needy, but even when I saw it as a kid, I never really saw it in a sexual way. I don't know how to explain that. Like, I was watching and being like, that's hot.
right.
Like,
Very sensual.
it's so... I love, like... Let me break down why this make-out scene is...
It's very good.
Well, it's just... First of all, the scene is not that graphic in the first place, which... It's crazy to me what little it takes for men to get bricked up and... lose their mind, because I'm pretty sure like the clip of that has a record amount of views on YouTube or something. There's a clip of just them making out.
God, so people are just replay.
Yes, but then in the scene itself, it's not that sexual in nature, I don't think. And then also what's smart is like it's just a close-up of their mouths and they're just French kissing, but even the way, like, you see the power dynamics within the way that they're French kissing each other, which somebody smart had to have been directing this. So
Right, because, yeah, it tells you so much about their dynamic without, saying anything at all.
and then also, I mean, it's not like they kiss once and then immediately pull away and say, oh, no, we're not into this. It's Needy gives into this move. She does. I mean, eventually it does split, but also she's also grappling with the fact that she knows Jennifer's killing people, so that would throw a wrench in things. So that scene happens, but my favorite scene in the entire movie, and I think, do you know which one it is?
You probably do.
I mean, probably.
I'm a bad friend. Anyway.
It's okay. My favorite scene in the whole movie is right at the beginning. It's during the concert, and it's the shots through the trees is playing. There's a slow-mo shot of Jennifer and Needy standing next to each other. And Jennifer looks over at Needy and has the biggest smile. And then they hold hands. And Needy's also happy. But then Jennifer puts her attention on to, what's his name? Adam Brody's character. It's
Nikolai.
With this same smile. And you see Needy look over at her. And then you just see, like, the happiness leave her body, and the shot, it's a slow-mo shot, and then their hands let go, and that scene makes me cry every time I see it, because I feel like it's just a really accurate depiction of complicated queer relationships between two people who aren't out, or somebody within that relationship isn't out and it isn't really clear what each other wants. I've been in that situation so many times where I've been the needy and that I care so much about this other person that I think feels the same way, and then it doesn't really turn into anything.
They're looking at the Nikolai. And you're
Correct.
Like, he sucks.
But he does suck, and it's just, again, it's just that scene and the way Karen directed it and shot it. It's perfect. It's so nuanced, and for a queer person, it means a lot to see stuff like that. And this was in 2009.
Right. It's so real. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
vulnerable.
It's me being vulnerable.
But no, that's so real. And because that was one thing that I was thinking a lot, because the last few years, I always hear about how important this movie is to the gay community. But I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't know if Jennifer is, because it almost feels like she's using her sexuality as power, both with the men that she kills and with Needy in a lot of ways. Like, Needy, my secret. I'm gonna distract you with what I know you want. So Needy, bisexual at the very least, maybe closeted gay. Jennifer, I don't know.
I feel like there's something. I know there's a lot of discussions over how queer it actually is, but
Right.
to me,
I know Megan's bi. Yeah.
In IRL?
In IRL, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody tell me.
I don't know. There's a couple moments within the film that I think show there's something there for Megan or for Jennifer. God, I keep flipping their names. But as far as right after she's possessed by the demon, the first place she goes is Needy's house. Like, I think that says something. And then also just at the very end of the film, when Needy, the final confrontation between the two of them, and when Needy rips off her BFF necklace, and that's kind of when you kind of see it's like Jennifer was still kind of there. And because she stops fighting her that's the moment when which they stop. It seems like Jennifer gives up. I don't know how to explain that, but
because that was the most important relationship, whether she treated Needy well or not.
Correct. And that's, again, it's just so complicated because I know so many people that these relationships where they're best friends with somebody they absolutely fucking hate at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it isn't a matter of, like, oh, this annoys me or this annoys me. It's, no, they treat me poorly and they're actually a bad person.
Correct.
Which,
that ties in again to the queerness of it all. It's that you're just so infatuated with these people that kind of give you scraps that you just cling on to, as far as like, oh, there could be something there. Like they do love me. But then at the end of the day, it's like,
how much though? Like, does it matter if they're gonna, steal your boyfriend and kill him? Like,
yeah, I want the inner city Fago. Which, side note, that line when I saw that in LA, which first of all, that's another cameo that is just weird.
Chris Pratt is the
not a cameo,
dating
but
underage girls.
Yeah, he calls the boy bands a bunch of Fagos, and I cackled, and I don't think anybody else thought it was as funny as I did in that theater, but maybe that's because I'm just a problematic homosexual.
We were too woke for you, Mitchell. I know. We mentioned the language, I think, in our first episode, but it did kind of shock me rewatching it this time, just how many times they said the R word. I was like, dang! Because that was on its way out at that time. Like, there were campaigns like, hey, stop saying that. So it kind of shocked me. At least 3 times they either outright said it or they, like, incorporated it into another word. And I was just like, yes, people said it, but at the same time, this movie has such unique language that they didn't need to say it. Like, there's a million other insults that I'm sure Cody could come up with in her brilliant brain. So I can't really defend it, but I can say it's a product of the time.
Yeah, it definitely is, because every time they'd say, that was also interesting seeing it with a modern crowd, is like, am I allowed to laugh at that?
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, it's a clever script. Even when they're saying abominable things, it's like, well, dang, that was good, but please don't say that.
Yeah, which I wanted to bring that up too when which you and I talked about off camera, about how in all these press conferences, multiple times at least, they made comment about Diablo's language she uses and how her characters and what they say. And how did you get into that? It's so strange. But again, I think that's what makes Juno and just any film that she's done the writing for. That's why people love it so much, is because it's strange and weird. But we as people are strange and weird. So it's like I've never found that jarring. Like the dialogue that she writes, I've never once been taken aback by that.
Well, yeah, people talk bizarre. People make weird references that no one around them gets. Like, that's just real life. I mean, it makes me think of us walking around LA and just being like, you shut the fuck up.
I think about that all the time.
Or, like, hey, 360 party girl. You bumping that? Like, people say weird shit. It's fun.
But yeah, I don't know what people expect. But
another thing that like definitely is a throwback. I think of Diablo Cody, as I've learned more about this, I think of her as like the John Hughes of the baby millennials, or the zillennials, kind of, because a lot of her movies take place in the Midwest. A lot of her movies have their own colorful language. It's not John Hughes, but I just kept thinking of Heather's, like with the weird language. What's your damage, Heather? Fuck me gently with a chainsaw. Like all these phrases that people don't really use in real life until they see it in a movie, But another thing that made me think of Heather's was with the Low Shoulder song. It made me think of Teenage Suicide Don't Do It by Big Fun. It made me think of that song within the movie. And it also, both movies, Heather's is more openly about it, but Jennifer's Body definitely touches on the idea of communal grieving can sometimes be very performative. And you see that. I mean, obviously Jennifer is a dick about it in class when, the teacher is at the front trying to get everybody sad about the fire, and Jennifer's just being a dick. But, then you see these people at the candlelight vigil singing a pop song, and weeping together, and it's like, okay,
so funny.
Yeah.
It's the shot of them with the candle. It's so funny.
They're like,
and I'm
trees.
I'm trying to think of what Needy's line is. It's right at the beginning of the movie. She refers to it as like a grief circle jerk, or I can't remember what the exact line is. A tragedy boner or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but it's that is a topic that they really, which again, because just like Heather's, that is a interesting connection between the two.
To me, it's very obvious that she's inspired by movies like that, with her theme. So why not with the language? So yeah, it does get really annoying watching the press conferences, watch them try to get reactions out of their cast and crew, like, oh, what about that kissing scene, or isn't the dialogue hard? And it's like, they're actors. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of does tie into the marketing as far as just like the overt misogyny, but also watching the press conferences, it's painful the questions that they're asking them, because it's just, you can tell there's such a lack of respect between the people asking the questions and the people they're asking to. And I'm like, you're just the interviewer. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why you think you have any right to walk up to Miss Diablo Cody and put any disrespect on her.
You sure write funny. What do you think about that?
And I wrote down a quote. It was a Megan quote during one of those press conference interviews. She really popped off about, I didn't write it down. I clipped it on my phone. I took a screen recording of it. But yeah, this guy was like trying to say, because both Megan, which I also find that really interesting, that both Megan and Amanda both were not into horror.
Yeah. And
saying how traumatizing it was for them. And then some interviewer is like, well, how do you feel knowing that what you're doing in a movie is going to scare some little girls in the future? And then Megan's like, what about the little boys? It's not going to scare them. And then that's when she started talking shit about how, well, the studio wants me to pitch this as a campy thriller or something like that. And she's making fun of it. And it's so frustrating. I wish it'd be so nice to like look back on everything surrounding this film and have it be more excitement and positive. Like, we could have gotten better information out of the creative team if they weren't having to dodge, bob, and weave through all these shitty questions. Because we know there's so much, I feel like, that still hasn't really been discussed about it. even behind the scenes, that I would love to see more of.
My heart's a little broken
Which,
for Jennifer's
so
body.
what do you think of all the sequel talks?
I don't know. Like, part of me is like, you know what? It obviously doesn't affect the original. That's still going to be there forever. I know that the press cycle will be very, very, very annoying if it does happen. But I think there's totally room for a Jennifer's body. I think Megan would have to come back, right? Like, it would have to be her, right?
I feel like it's already been established they're writing it right now.
Yeah.
And also, both Amanda and Megan have said they would do it.
They're on. Okay. Then, yeah. I think so long as they're both in it, like, we're good to go. I would love... Well, Johnny Simmons can't come back because his character's dead.
So is Jennifer.
But so is Jennifer, so you know.
But my favorite reaction to that, because I'm almost positive Diablo responded to somebody saying this, but at least everyone in the comment sections, when they make that argument, they're like, it's a movie about a girl who got sacrificed, but then had a succubus trapped in her body and she murders teenage boys. Like, let's be...
I can do what I want.
Suspension of disbelief. Like, yeah, Diablo can find a way to bring her back.
100%. I would love if they found like cameos for people from the first movie, like Kyle Gallner. He's unrecognizable. He could just show up as himself, not in Hot Topic gear, and have a cameo in the movie for sure.
And Amy Sedaris will be a leading role.
Yeah.
As Needy's mom.
She's actually the lead character now.
You know, I'd take it.
In
but that
world.
But because I think too, when people were interviewing Diablo about it, she had said, I can't remember, but basically now that it's gotten the love that it has and we're in such a different, and I think a better place when it comes to, we're still not where we need to be when it comes to platforming women's art and film. It's still better, and there will be so much less constraints on this, and she'll be able to go even further than she did on this one.
Right. There's a built-in audience now.
Correct. And we're going to defend it with guns loaded. Don't you dare disrespect my Jennifer's body.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of I'm so on the whole thing, because part of me's I don't know where it could go, but
right. Well,
at the end of the day, who does it hurt by there being a second one?
No, it doesn't hurt anyone. And also, the world is so different now. I feel like it could, if they really embrace that, I think it could be a good thing. I was thinking while watching the first one, and Needy's like doing research on succubi, and like she's at the library with a stack of books, you know, in their limited occult section. Which I love. Chip is like, we have an occult section?
Occult section in the library?
And she's like, yeah, there's not a lot. But you know... And I was watching that, and I was thinking, I'm not even going to talk about this movie, but I was watching another horror movie where they asked, like, the equivalent of ChatGPT for some information. And I was like, oh my god, is the library research montage dead? How sad. So, I don't know. So I think it's a different world. The first movie was every movie's a time capsule, but it was such a time capsule. I watched the first one, and I'm instantly, like, making a playlist of music that came out in, like, 2008, 2009. I would love Gen Alpha to have a movie like that, where they watch it in 20 years, and they're like, yeah, that's what it was like to be alive then.
Which, I don't know if Karen's said she would be on board, or if she's been in the discussion, but I'd love to have her part of it, too, because she had... This is again me my journey of learning how filmmaking works, because I never even associated the movie with Karen Kusama because I didn't know much about like the creative team, but
right.
And then I'm learning so much of what I love about this movie was Karen Kusama.
Yeah.
The way she shot these scenes that are your favorite, that was her.
Yeah.
The director is important, Mitchell.
Well, I read an interview with her, and she tells women's stories so well, because it's kind of crazy to think that she went from, like, this low-budget drama, girl fight, to superhero Aeon Flux, to Jennifer's Body, but the one thing that they all have in common is they have a strong female protagonist, but they do. You know? But yeah, I think it would be amazing if they could get her back, because she does movies, but she's done, like, Yellow Jackets. What's that new one with Dan Stevens? It's a new The Terror. Like, she does horror. She does female-led drama still. I think she could have only gotten better, right? So
I'm thrilled at the idea of it. Even if it's bad, you know me, I'll find a reason to love it.
yeah, we'll like present everything wrong with it. You'll be like, that is all correct.
Yeah,
However, no.
that was intentional.
That was on purpose, guys.
Yeah.
But this was your birthday movie.
This is my birthday
When
movie.
people listen, it'll be your birthday. What do you wish for our listeners to do for your birthday? What's your wish list?
Well, watch Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
Of course.
And subscribe. 5 stars.
Exactly, yeah. Subscribe to our now 40 accounts that I'll probably have to make now that we're doing video content. Because you fuckers can't just listen to our sexy voices. You gotta see. I need to look at something. I need something to flick my bean to. I don't know. I don't get it. Which is so strange because me as a podcast, a person that consumes podcasts, I always watch the YouTube video, or I have the YouTube video playing in the background. I'm not even watching the video.
Right.
So it's just so interesting how we interact with content.
It's a culture gap. I think everyone who's a bit older is like, no, we listen. It's the radio. It's the new radio. And then like younger people are like, no, we want to watch. And if we're not watching, we're still listening. But we want the video option. So it's kind of, that's why I said, if you want to do it, I'll do it. I'll do my makeup all nice and all that. But it's very much for the young folks at home, I think.
Yes, this is for you.
This is for you, beautiful babies.
Which we'll see how this goes when I have to edit this, and we'll see how that works. But so this might be the one and only video episode we ever have. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Jennifer's Body, it's great. Go see it. Go see it.
Yeah.
Go stream it. It is streaming now on Netflix, which that's cool. I don't know which version's on there.
I think it's the cut version, because when you quoted Patrick Starr at the beginning of the episode, I did not see that part. So either I wasn't paying attention or it's just not there.
It also doesn't have that. There's like a really iconic scene. It's Colin's funeral and his mom pops off on the goths that are like being melodramatic and talking about him being embraced by the angels of death, and the mom starts making fun of them, and it's so great.
I need to watch that because fuck those
I'll find
kids.
that clip. Yes, exactly. It's such a great scene.
The performative grief, I can't.
But that's all. I mean, isn't that what all goth and emos are doing all the time?
The constant performative grief for their youth that they're living.
I went to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. Yeah. Speaking of goths and emos, there's so many goth bitches there. And the whole time I'm walking around, I'm like, I want a goth friend really bad. I want a goth adult best friend that is, I love the goth aesthetic. Yeah. Even though like, I have like diet I
goth.
introduce it. Little nuggets of my life, of my decor or what I wear that's kind of gothy. Right. I want to just fully embrace it. I want to wear the thick black eyeliner. I want to have teased purple hair. I want to live that lifestyle. And I don't think it's fair that I don't get to.
When I was 14, I bought the fishnet fingerless gloves from Hot Topic, and I thought that was the hottest shit. I wanted to be goth, punk rock, all of the subcultures. Subculture vulture. I was like, yes, I have arrived. And nobody else agreed, but I was having a good time.
I was watching Parks and Rec last night. It's funny you mentioned fingerless gloves. And one of Leslie's line is, she's trying to convince one of the other characters to seduce a man. She's like, and there's nothing more sexy than fingerless gloves.
No, I assure you, I did not feel sexy. I was very much like, oh my god, what am I doing? Anyway, so I could be that goth friend for you now.
You kind of are.
Yeah.
And Adam. Let's get Adam to grow the hair out again.
Oh my gosh, sometimes I wonder, because it's so curly, I'm like, I think that would be pretty. My pretty husband. There, now I'm goth. Cool.
Okay, we're talking about random shit now. So
now we're just shooting the shit. Okay, watch Jennifer's Body. Wish Mitchell a happy birthday, and subscribe 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm gonna put on my lipstick now.